For more on this breaking news, I want to bring in Jamil Jaffer, founder and executive director of the National Security Institute. Jamil, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Natasha.
So what is the latest that we are tracking on this? Not an actual fourth unidentified object in our airspace after all?
That's what it looks like, Natasha. The latest NORAD statement appears to indicate that there was a radar anomaly that was detected. They sent fighter jets up to identify the radar anomaly, but they couldn't identify anything associated with that thing. So it could simply be just a mistake, an error, a blip on the radar that wasn't there. These things do happen at times. We don't usually scramble fighter jets as a result of them, but given all of what's happened in the last 24, 48 hours in the last week, it's not surprising that we did get jets up there to check it out. Appears to have been nothing. What is odd about this story, though, Natasha, is that Congressman Rosendale was in touch with Northcom and NORAD as these events were happening. It's his district, his area. And what he reported was that they had told him that whatever the anomaly was, they were going to deal with it in the morning, that they had checked it out, and they're going to revisit it and try to down this object in the morning. That seems like an odd situation now. And so it's hard to know what to make of that and why the Department of Defense, if they did think there was a threat in the airspace or something in the air over Montana, why they would wait till the next day to deal with it.
Yeah, what do you make of that? That seems to be sort of in contrast to what we've been seeing in terms of the decisive action with the last two objects that we've seen. If something is potentially a threat or flying around 40,000 or potentially a threat to air travel, why would you wait until morning to check it out?
Yeah, it is at some level consistent because we do know now, as we've learned, that the first object was detected Thursday night at 9 p.m. They waited until the next day, till the afternoon, to down that one. This second object over Canada was detected over U.S. airspace initially, then went out of U.S. airspace, then came over Canadian airspace, and it took between Friday and Saturday to down that one. So it is somewhat consistent with the timelines, but what is odd about this one in particular, having now made the decision twice to shoot down two objects, if there was an object over Montana, why would the theory still be, well, let's wait and see? The only working theory I could come up with, as I was thinking this through, would be maybe they're trying to come up with a way to bring in this object down without shooting it down, so maybe they can do a better study of it. But there's no clear evidence of that, and it may just have been a radar anomaly, Natasha.
I appreciate that. And what do you make of the three confirmed objects that have been shot down in this last week? Is it atypical, or have objects been entering our airspace in and out all of these years, just unbeknownst to the public? Is this a new normal that Americans should be expecting, that we're now learning about every single one that happens, and many of them are being shot out of the sky?
Well, that's a great question, Natasha. Look, we haven't, as far as I'm aware, in the 40 some odd years I've been alive, I've never heard of an object being shot down over U.S. airspace. So that's a new thing that's happening. Now what we did learn in the context of the Chinese spy balloon is that other balloons like that one, the large style one that we shot down over South Carolina, had been in U.S. airspace 3 times apparently during the Trump administration, once during the Biden administration without being detected. That obviously is concerning. And now we're seeing these small objects. Maybe there's a lot more of them. Maybe they've been happening for a while. We have had lots of reports of airmen and airwomen seeing objects in the sky and not being able to identify them. Maybe there's something going on with, maybe there's some relationship to those unidentified things that airmen and airwomen have seen. We really don't know a whole lot, Natasha. We're going to have to learn a lot more. Now the American public is onto this and focused in on this. Members of Congress are too. You can be sure the administration is going to be called upon to give some sort of answers as to what exactly is going on over U.S. airspace. These are obviously a concern enough to be shooting down two objects in 48 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jamil, I have one more quick question for you. Are we in any danger of communicating a precedent with China with these last 3 incidents, that we are going to be shooting down these objects without perhaps being able to examine and see exactly what is inside? And I'm just following up on this question based on our last conversation. You mentioned that there is potentially a risk of explosives or something unknown being inside of those objects. What is on your mind in terms of that?
Well, Natasha, look, we're well within our rights to take action against anything in our airspace that is not authorized to be there, right? And that action can be something like shooting it down and taking it out of the sky completely. It can be forcing it down. It can be catching it if you have a capability to do that. But there is no scenario under which, under international or domestic law, that it would be inappropriate for us to take action. The only question is what action we want to take in order to figure out, is this a threat? What is it doing and the like? And you might see different decisions. You might see shoot downs at times. You might see other ways to take these things down as well. The key is to figure out, why are these in our airspace? Who's operating them? and what can be done about them, if anything.
And actually, I do want to share, we did just receive a statement from NORAD on what happened in Montana. NORAD detected a radar anomaly. They say they sent fighter aircraft to investigate. Those aircraft did not identify any object to correlate to the radar hits. NORAD will continue to monitor the situation. So much of what we've been discussing. Jamil, Jaffer, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Natasha.